How's it going, everyone? It's Zerker, and today I figured we'd do a little topic about where I buy manga. I kind of shop all over the place. So what I decided to do was make like a little list of the main places that I go, pros and cons between all of them. Then at the very end, we'll do some like honorable mentions about some places that I have looked at or maybe did in order once or twice there. But this list that I have is primarily where I usually go all the time to purchase manga. So before we get into that, if you like this content, give it a thumbs up. If you dislike, thumbs down. Hitting the subscribe button always helps out. I really do appreciate that. And let me know where you buy manga too. I think with the market the way it is, every little bit of information about where somebody can get volumes of manga that they're looking for is important. I know we're all looking for the same things and everything, but I think getting this information out to people that are just getting into the manga scene, I guess, is really good. It helps them out, saves them some money. So let's help each other out and do that. So the first place that I want to talk about is called AbeBooks. This is think of it like a eBay, but for books. You get sellers from all over the world, so you have a large selection of everything. If you're looking for any kind of book, they're gonna have it, and they're probably gonna have it in multiple different languages. And the prices tend to be pretty good. I've seen them usually just a little under what retail value is for these used books. If they are new, they are priced fairly close to retail, but with the way the market is now, you do see the sellers selling their books for a little bit higher, which is a little bit of a disappointment. So those are primarily the pros. The cons, you have to pay attention when you're looking at the books. You have to pay attention as far as where the seller is located, the language that it's in. A good example of this is, perfect example, volume 9 of Scum's Wish here. This is the decor volume, I guess. Basically telling the story, or continuing the story of Scum's Wish after the events that happened in the main story. So a lot of it kind of does closure for a lot of the side characters that you have within the main story. The only issue is, I didn't catch this, and I was also drunk when I ordered this, but this is a German publication, came from a UK seller. He did list it as German, but I didn't catch it. So you have to look very, very carefully. There's a little box under the listing, basically set for like the description and everything. Right there it'll say language German, Portuguese, Spanish, Japanese, Mandarin, things like that. So you have to pay attention to that. And since you're dealing with third-party sellers or, tiny bookstores and things like that on this website, they will use some very weird shipping services. Another example is one I'm currently involved in right now. Akame ga Kill 0 Volume 6 is a book I ordered on AbeBooks, and they are using a company I have never heard of. They are a US based seller, but they're using a freight shipping company, it seems like. So the tracking number provided was my order number through AbeBooks, so obviously I can't track it. I do have a time frame of when delivery is expected to happen. It's supposed to be within the next week, I think. So you have to be aware of that. They're going to use companies that you've never heard of. They may not provide tracking numbers for your items, and you just got to kind of hope for the best and hope that you remember that you ordered something from them, and then in the event that it doesn't show up, it's not like eBay where you work with eBay to contact, like eBay doesn't play the middleman. If there's an issue, you have to resolve it with the seller. And since you're also dealing with third-party sellers, very similar to eBay, your packing for these items may be kind of subpar. They may just toss it in a box. They may just toss an envelope, maybe with some packing peanuts, maybe with some wrapping or something, but that's about it. Don't expect anything from like Right Stuff quality. So with that, AbeBooks, I would give AbeBooks a solid 3 out of 5. I think they're pretty good, but they're not the best. Next up, we're going to move to probably one of my most used services just because of convenience for me, and that is Amazon. I live in Washington State. I live probably about 5 miles from a distribution center. Actually, I live probably within 10 miles of me. There's probably 2 distribution centers, so I can get things if I order something like right now. So right now it is Friday, 8:30 in the morning. If I ordered something today, right now, by 6 p.m. tonight, it'll be delivered. So you get insanely fast shipping if you're really close to a distribution center, or if those distribution centers even hold your particular item. Customer service is great. Every time I have an issue with them, it's like no questions asked. Here's your money back, or here's a replacement. Your original item shows up. Hey, just keep the original one, no problems, whatever. So awesome customer service. And you get the benefit of Prime membership, you know, which comes with a slew of different other things that you can use, you know, Prime Video, God knows what else they have in the music. Free subscription on Twitch and all that stuff. Cons that I have with Amazon is nothing that I've personally experienced. It is some things that I've seen others experience, and that is the packing. I've had one instance where when I ordered something on Amazon, I made the mistake. This was a mistake on my part, I think, but I made the mistake of ordering, let's say, like 2 or 3 volumes of manga with other items, and they ended up packing all the items in one box, and they threw a couple of those little air packets in there, and off it went. I've seen some people get some pretty seriously damaged books from Amazon. You know, they had to unfortunately go through Amazon customer service and get that replacement on something that could have been prevented if they just paid a little bit more attention or did a little bit better packing on the items. And secondly, Prime membership is also a con, because if you don't have the money for Prime, you know, it's either like $200 a year or like 14 something a month. That's money that you may not have. That's money that could go to manga, or that's money you just don't feel like you need to be spending. And then unfortunately, if you don't have that, then you have the slower shipping services. It comes USPS, it comes UPS, FedEx, maybe it comes Amazon. It'll be a week, 3-4 days. And sometimes you just want your shit like right now. So the Prime membership is a pro and a con depending on how you look at it, depending on how much you use Amazon. I use it pretty often. That's why I pay for the subscription. But if you're just like a regular person who doesn't really use video or anything, it's gonna be a con. It's not something you want to use or pay for. So for that, me personally, I give Amazon 4 out of 5. They're good, but you're really rolling the dice on the situation that you're in, because it's like you're gonna get the really great service with really good packaging, or you're gonna get the absolute shitty service and all your books and shit show up damaged because the warehouse people aren't packing it properly. So except we're gonna do Books A Million, or BAM. This is one I use this one very rarely personally. I haven't had good luck on Books A Million and the next one after it, but they do have a larger selection. They do have a good customer service. They do have pretty decent prices. I can't remember if it was BAM or Book Depository, but they also have a membership service, and I can't remember what the price was. And then it's very similar to what the Right Stuff member service is, where you know you get an additional discount on top of the discount they already may offer. They do have above average packaging. In stock status of items may be incorrect. That's my biggest issues with them, is when I do an order, it shows that it's in stock or there, and then when you place the order like a couple days later, oh, it's gone. So, but they're cool enough to do the refund or offer to swap, you know, your items out that are not in stock with something that is. And the one thing that I experienced pretty regularly when I did order with Books A Million was the orders were shipped out separately. So if I ordered, let's say like 5 books, 2 books would be in one package, maybe all 5 would show up in like these pressed, really thick but hard, like cardboard envelopes, but they'd be all shipped out individually. And to me, I don't understand how that works for saving on shipping costs, but maybe for them it does. For me, they're a 3.5. I've had some good. I've had very few bad with them. But the bad that I did have worked out. But I also didn't like having to get a bunch of envelopes in my mailbox and try to carry those back to my apartment. You know, like you could have just tossed it in a box. Next up, Book Depository. Just like BAM, they do have a very large selection. Their inventory is throughout the world. I believe BAM is actually the same way. They have a large selection for throughout the world. Their shipping is fairly quick. It's almost next day turnaround. So what I mean by next day turnaround is they place your order, it is processed that day and shipped out usually that day. You can start tracking it that night. So it's a pretty quick turnaround from the moment you ordered to when it gets shipped out through the door. For them, this is the biggest one this is another issue that I had with them, was their in-stock status was never accurate. I remember when I was ordering a lot of The Devil's a Part-Timer, a lot of their stuff showed in stock, but when I placed the order, a lot of it wasn't in stock. So I had to cancel it, which they were nice enough to do. They canceled those particular items. And then, unfortunately, all their stuff, because since it came from different parts of the world, or different parts of the United States, I should say, came in individual wrapped, a little like thin cardboard packages. So I remember when I got it, like I had 12 envelopes in my cardboard envelopes in my mailbox, and I was like, this is just ridiculous. And a lot of them came from the same place. They just the way they did it. I give them 3.5 out of 5, just because I felt like I've had a slightly better experience with Book Depository than I have with BAM. Next up is probably the one that everyone uses quite often, especially for used books, is going to be eBay. Huge selection. Whatever you're looking for, generally eBay is going to have it. You can find some really nice gems on eBay. You really can. You have to look though. eBay is also a very sketchy place. You're going to deal with scalpers. You're going to be dealing with private sellers. You're going to be dealing with sketchy sellers. You're going to be dealing with people that know the market is hot right now, and they're going to jack up the prices so that they make a significant profit. People are going to be playing the game of, for instance, like when Chainsaw Man was, just coming out with like volumes 2 and 3, people couldn't buy them in stores, and people were buying them multiple volumes at once, selling them on eBay for about 5 times the cost. And they were claiming that they were out of print. Well, technically they were out of print, but they were more out of stock because the publication companies didn't have the resources or the time because of COVID to send the orders out or get the orders received to distribute them out to wherever they needed to go. And this is one thing that people need to realize is that just because an item shows out of stock doesn't mean it's out of print. There's 2 different things. Gantz is out of print. These singles are not in print no more. You can buy the omnibuses, but these particular singles are not in print. That's why these have such a higher cost on the resale market. While Chainsaw Man is a new series that's still serializing. It wasn't canceled. It's still going. So there's no reason why you need to be paying $50-$60 for a book on Chainsaw Man. It just doesn't make sense. So you have to be mindful of that when you're on eBay. And lastly, you're going to be, or not really lastly, but you're going to be dealing with inaccurate descriptions a lot of times. A lot of people are going to rate their books differently than how you're going to rate yours. Good example is, I ordered Akame ga Kill 0 Volume 5 on eBay. It was from a Goodwill store on there, and they said basically there was markings and slight bends on the covers and media was missing. It was kind of standard fare for what Goodwill would put. When I received it, it was actually like a G4, a grade 4, I guess, in quality. It looked fairly new. You could tell it was red at one point, but there was no creases, there was no bends, there was no tears, no markings. It looked fine. So be prepared, though, because some people are going to have like a grade 2 and say it's a grade 4. So you have to really look at the photos, ask for more photos if you can, if you feel comfortable doing that. And I'm just going to say, and then lastly, their shipping. It's really up to the seller. If you can, you got to pay attention to that too, because you're going to see sellers trying to sell manga but offering priority or like next day shipping. Ask them or demand that they ship it media mail, because media mail is like a couple bucks. It will take it a lot longer to get to you, but you can still track it and you save yourself a significant amount of money. You don't necessarily need it in 2 to 3 days. You can wait a week. It's manga. It's nothing important, So keep that in mind too, because actually now that I think about it, look at the price too, because people will be very, very sneaky and put, let's say $2 for a book and then charge shipping at $25. Well, now you're paying $27 plus your state tax for a manga that probably only really realistically should have costed you $10-15 to ship, all in grand total. So keep that in mind. So with that said, I'll give eBay a 3.5. They are a good place to look. You just have to do your due diligence on what you're ordering and who you're ordering from. So you have to do a lot more research on the actual shipper than the actual item. So yeah, 3.5. I think 3.5 is fair for eBay. All right, next up, this is the one I like to rag on so much, but I have to admit they are a good company to work with. InStockTrades. They have a vast selection. They often have harder to find items because a lot of people don't realize InStockTrades sells manga. I think a lot of people didn't realize at the time that they sell manga, and they do, but they don't list it as manga. They list it as graphic novels. I was able to find, this was when I was looking for it, High School of the Dead, like the first 5 volumes on there. They had off like the first 5 volumes, and I had to buy 6 and 7 on eBay. I was able to find much of Akame ga Kill on InStockTrades. I was able to find a good chunk of The Devil's a Part-Timer, Hinamatsuri, Tsundame. I found like 1 or 2 volumes on there. You can find quite a bit on InStockTrades. They have really low prices. Their packing, I think, is the best packing I've ever experienced. It's even better, in my opinion, than Right Stuff's packing, and I'll get into that in just a second. And their customer service is very, very good. So with their packing, if you have some familiarity with Right Stuff, you'll know they do these cardboard inserts that go in the box and then like surrounds the edges of the box and your items by like an inch and a half. So, and it's thick material, and then they wrap it in a thick packing paper, and oftentimes they'll stuff any voids with packing paper. InStockTrades does the same thing. However, they seal your items in plastic bags. So they'll wrap it in a bag, tape it up, place it in there with a cushion of packing paper on the bottom, maybe on the sides if needed, on the top, and then they'll have those cardboard inserts all around it. Their packing is by far the best I've ever experienced. Unfortunately for them, they do have some very, for me, glaring cons that make the service one of my least used, because their in-stock status, oh my god, it is never right. It's never right. I don't know how they do things. I don't know how it's really set up there. I don't know if, like, for instance, like if when you place an order, it feels like, so when you place your order, it feels like it gets sent to a person, and this person just has to look up to see where or what warehouse or where this location of this manga is, then email that warehouse or that location and be like, hey, do you have Gantz Volume 1 in stock? And then they have to wait for them to come reply back and say, hey, yeah, we got it. Or 90% of the time, they're going to say, no, we don't have it no more. So then that InStockTrades has to contact you and say, hey, unfortunately, volumes X, Y, Z, and Q are out of stock. Would you like to replace them? Or do you want to cancel them? Now, if you want to replace them, you have to go on the website, get the links per your replacements. So let's say if Gantz 1 wasn't there, and then let's say you wanted Batum Volume 1, you have to get the link for Batum Volume 1, send your replacement list, and then repeat the process for Batum, where they contact their warehouse or whatever. They reply back, oh yeah, we got it, or no, we don't. Me personally, I gave up doing that because I remember one order, like I think it was my second ever order I did there. I ordered like in March, and I didn't get the package until probably late August because it was just a back and forth, and I eventually just said, fuck it, cancel whatever is not in stock. I just want my shit, So with that, their customer service is fantastic. They really are. They do get in contact with you pretty quickly. They will work with you. They have no problem canceling, individual items in your order or replacing them. They don't have that issue. They're also pretty good because I remember when I was moving, I had to contact them and say, hey, I got this order. I know you already processed it. Can you hold it? Can you change the address real quick because I'm moving and I won't be there, blah, blah, blah. They were able to stop that shipment because they had already printed out the label. They already sent the information to the post office. So they were able to cancel that shipment, change my address, and get my new address on the label and shipped out. So they do have awesome customer service. They're very slow at processing orders. We kind of already touched on that. Searching on the website can be a pain in the ass because they deal with, so InStockTrades, in my experience, seems to primarily focus on comic books, so like Marvel, DC, Image. And for them, their searching is set up, I feel like their search is set up very specifically for comic book searches. So if I went on and was searching for Akame ga Kill, no matter what I do, no matter what inputs I do to kind of specifically tell the search engine to look strictly for Akame ga Kill, it'll pull up everything that has Akame ga and Kill. So if you got a word that starts with a GA, it'll put it in the queue. So you have to search long for what you're looking for, and it's a pain in the ass. You can do all the filters you need to as far as graphic novel, author, whatever. As long as it has those specific words that you're looking for, it's going to get listed. However, there is a pro to this at the same time, because when I was searching for Akame ga Kill, it showed up because so what I did was I did Akame ga Kill first for the search and got all this bullshit. And Akame ga Kill was scattered out through in it. So I decided to look up, I think it was the mangaka, or it was either the artist or the mangaka. I can't remember. I put them in the search field as well, and then it pulled up more specifically Akame ga Kill stuff. So I was able to find Akame ga Kill 0. And then I was able to find out that there was Hinowa ga Crush, which I didn't know that was coming out. And then on top of that, I was able to find Ninja Slayer kills. So when you're searching for one thing, you can find multiple different new series to actually buy. So it's a pro and con. It's more of a con for me just because it is a pain in the ass to search on there. I will give them, though, a rating of 4 just because they have awesome customer service. They have the best packing I've ever seen. They do work with you. They have no problem refunding your stuff. But their in-stock status, the processing for your orders, and the searching is just, it is a pain in the ass. Next up is the one probably most of us use, most of us rely on. It's RightStuff. Everybody knows about RightStuff. If you don't, you're missing out on some really fantastic deals. So with RightStuff, they are veterans of the business. I believe they've been in the business for like 20 years now. They've strictly only dealt with anime and manga related stuff for the past 20 years. They have a huge selection. It doesn't matter if you're looking for manga. It doesn't matter if you're looking for Blu-ray, DVDs, figurines, CDs and vinyls, hentai, whatever, they have it. If you want pins, they got it. If you want pillowcases, they got it. If you want stickers, they got it. Lanyards, if it's anime, manga related, they have it. They have low prices for non-members. They also have a membership. I believe it's $20 every year. It's not auto-renew, so you basically, if once the year's up, you don't renew it. So with that membership, you do get an additional lower price on items. So I think last time I was on there, a $10 manga ended up costing, I think it was like $7. So it was a pretty significant discount. I could be wrong, don't quote me, but it was a noticeable difference between the non-membership prices. Their packaging is very good, and we've touched on it when I was talking about InStockTrades, but they do use the cardboard inserts between the edge of the box and your items, but they don't wrap your actual manga in plastic or like in plastic bags or anything like that and seal it. They just put it in there, put some packing paper on top and bottom and any additional voids, and ship it out. They do have a fairly quick turnaround as far as when your order's placed to processing your order to get shipped out, but there is a catch, and we'll get to that. And they have absolutely by far the best customer service I've ever experienced so far. I had issues with credit card. Basically somebody got my information and my card got declined. Added a new card. They had, like, I just called them up. I didn't get a robot. In fact, the only robot I really did get was basically where your call needed to go. So whether it was a shipping related issue, packing related issue, lost, it was real simple. But once you made that selection, you were put on hold. Usually your hold lasted maybe like a minute or two, and then you got an actual person to talk to, and they were super friendly. They were very eager to help you, and I said, hey, I had some credit card issues, somebody got access to my card, so I had to cancel it. I have this order that's trying to get processed, but it won't because the card is being declined. I added a new card. Can we swap the payment? No questions asked. Yes. Hey, I'm moving. I got this pre-order. Can we swap? Yes. Hey, this book was damaged in shipping. What can I do? But what can I get a refund? No, here's a replacement. Keep the other one. It's like no questions asked. So their customer service is absolutely amazing. The best I've ever had to deal with. And a lot of times you can just email them, or do the little form that they have and just say, hey, this is what's going on. Can we fix it? Yeah, here you go. It's already fixed. Boom. It's amazing. I love their customer service. I love it. Now, cons. You do need the membership to get the absolute lowest prices that they'll ever offer. And I'm pretty confident they have another tier for even lower prices for like an affiliate program or something like that, where like you can get sponsorships from them. But you do need that membership for the absolute lowest possible prices. So that is $20 and it's active for 1 year. It does make sense if you're going to be ordering a lot on there. I do order quite a bit, but probably not enough to justify the $20. The site for me, in my opinion, is a little rough to do searches on, and I think it's a little dated. I think they need to do a significant overhaul on the searching and the user experience. It's not the worst, not the best. And lastly, when I touched on the fairly quick turnaround from when you order to when it's processed, there is a big catch to that, and this is one I learned pretty quickly. If you do a pre-order item, let's say let's say you're waiting for Attack on Titan Volume 34 and you ordered, that just recently came out. So let's say you ordered it in August because you knew you wanted it. And then with that order, you ordered, let's say, a bunch of currently running, so like you ordered all of Raw Heroes on 100, all of The Way of the House Husband, all of Black Lagoon, like you ordered all this manga and all this other stuff with it. Well, unfortunately, none of that will get shipped out until that pre-order item comes in stock. So if you have multiple pre-order items in stock or in your cart, whatever the very last pre-order item is finally released, they will not release that shipping or that package till all those pre-order items are released. There is a catch though. There are times when, let's say, it keeps getting delayed and delayed and delayed. Then yeah, they'll release it and create a new shipment for the pre-order item that's being delayed. But a lot of times you could be waiting months before you get anything. That's why you see a lot of these people like on the manga r/manga collection or manga collectors or whatever it is, and they get these like huge hauls from Right Stuff. Is because generally a lot of the stuff that they ordered was probably out of stock or pre-ordered, and it was all held up until those items came in stock or came from publishing to Right Stuff to ship out. So keep that in mind. So if you're ordering a bunch of stuff, keep your pre-order items completely separate from everything. Right Stuff shipping wise is quick, but it's not worth it unless you're doing a big order. So if you're like, for instance, if you're pre-ordering a single volume of Gantz, it's not worth it. You'd be better off on ordering on Amazon, personally, in my opinion on that. But if you're doing a significantly large order where you're talking a couple $100 worth of manga, Right Stuff is the way to go. Way to go. It's the way to go. I just realized I forgot to give Right Stuff a rating, 5 out of 5. So that covers my personal list of where I usually go most often. Now there are some honorable mentions. There's a site called Mercari. There's another one. What's it called? Simon and Schuster. Lastly, I could say Half Price Books. So that's my list. That's the places I go, the places I look. Let me know where you go. Let me know where you look. Let me know what your search process is. That way we can help each other out, help everyone else out, especially the new people coming into the scene, new people trying to collect, new people just trying to look for manga, read. Need to help each other out because the market is fucked up right now. So anyway, I'm Zerker. This was my video about where I'll go to buy and look for manga. If you like it, thumbs up. If you don't, thumbs down. Leave a comment below about places that you weren't aware of. Maybe you were surprised by some of these places. Like when I found out InStockTrades, I was amazed. I was amazed by that. So if there's a place on here you didn't think about looking, let me know. If there's a place that I have on my list that I'm not looking, let me know. Other than that, hit the subscribe button. That helps out a lot. I would really appreciate that. And until next time, I will see you guys later. Peace.